After I was at Dad's, so I'm going to continue this on from there. While I was there as well, there was talk. Obviously, they're discussing me constantly. They were saying things like, maybe if she was with, her ex-husband, we might consider letting her go, keeping the family unit together kind of thing. And at the time, obviously you're traumatized. I was playing along in the beginning. Do you know what I mean? I don't mean playing along like game-wise. I mean, I was sort of taking this on board, actually believing it, or I don't know. It's very hard to explain what somebody's like when they're in severe trauma. They're not thinking like they normally would. So I had actually signed up to do a beauty course, and I was doing my, obviously, modules on the laptop for that, and I went into TAFE and signed up for all the different modules that I was going to do of this beauty course. Just trying to get my life back, and just thinking, where can I go from here? That obviously wasn't a choice I would normally make. I'm a designer and a dancer, but I was just thinking immediate, something that I could do that was easy and quick and get back on my feet. So I've then rang and cancelled that, and really disappointed at the time. Now this is all like, nothing. It's just fluff, really. But I cancelled that and I moved back in with my ex-husband, and we tried to make it work. And that's when the facility and all that kind of stuff happened. And I just wanted to add that tidbit. People will, go along to some point, and people's lives are threatened, their kids are threatened, their families are threatened, and that's why I basically tried to make a really big mess, The worst had already happened to us, and the more people that saw or knew, the safer everybody else is, because they will single out, and silence is a shield for them. It really is. And I've even heard people driving around this neighbourhood here. I'm at Blakeview. I've heard people rolling around this neighbourhood threatening people, saying, this is going to happen to you if you don't keep your mouth shut. And this is what they do. And these people all know that I've become an absolute beast because of this. Yeah, I mean, hearing my story is seriously traumatic and heinous, but there is so much else going on here. And hopefully my voice holds up and I can move forward for that. I'm really sorry because it sounds like freaking awful right now. Like I said, there's a vertebrae poking in my throat right now. But the information is going to come out either way, so bear with me. So from Dad's, I found a place, it's just like, needed to move forward. And I found a place at Northfield, which is kind of strange because I've lived there 3 times in my life. Grew up there actually when I was younger, and then me and Jet's father had a house there as well later on in life, like in my 20s. So I ended up back in the same area. Was really happy with that place. It was, an older house, but I had it set up beautiful. It was more about the environment. There was an overlook across the road and parks and massive trees. And that kind of beauty is just like energetically, fueling. And there was even a guardian spirit, in one of the trees. Just so much happened. There's so much, I've got a whole book of experiences and things that I've had as well, which I want to kind of get out. Not that anyone's watching any of this. This is kind of for me at the moment. I mean, I've checked my videos and it's like one view, so clearly they're blocking me, mirroring my phone or whatever, or someone's telling my story, so people should kind of know that in these kind of cases, you don't even get to tell your own story. You don't even get that kind of honor. Somebody else is going to snatch that up for you as well. And with the conscious attachment, that was the intention. That's why they've attached this female to me. First it was Paul, and then it was Sarah. I don't know if it's actually the same Sarah, and I don't know who this person is. I have a few ideas. But this person's not who they pose themselves to be, and they've been siphoning me for, data mining me for information, siphoning me energetically, and I believe either some sort of overlay so that people can't read me correctly. Obviously, because I've got people attached to my energy and conscious field, so I'm not even sure at this point if people are actually reading me correctly. So I move into the place at Northfield, and really happy, Jet had space to play and everything like that. Before I get into everything that happened there, now at Northfield, they've torn down, taken down trees. It's just barren and energetically depleted. It feels horrible. And there's a female living in there with long dark hair that I kind of got a glance at when I drove past to have a look. Clearly involved in this, because that house was swiped out from under me, and I was asked to leave, and there was a lot of suspicion behind that as well. I mean, a guy came in and he was checking the trees, particularly the tree with the guardian spirit, and I heard someone say, check the tree first. So that was basically the first thing they ripped out, right? These people are disgusting, actually disgusting. The house next door is missing, gone. I heard some weird goings on there, building and stuff right before I left. The people in the two-story house are directly connected to this, directly. I heard their conversations for years, and the stuff that went on there, at some point, I thought this is actually too insane to be real. I must be, I must be losing it, or, this is all some sort of a sick joke. And anybody would really wish for that to be the case here. So, the building that went on right before I left, the people in that two-story home, the Italians, they left. And there was talk before that, the young girl, was must have been showing pictures on her phone or something to someone, and she's saying, oh, look at my house. My doors open out onto the garden, and there's this and there's that. And she was sort of laughing and carrying on and saying, it seems to me whenever I mention specific people, right, the attacks get like way worse. And these people aren't going to stop. Like, this is it now. So I've had to go next level as well. And I've been pretty clear on my intentions for them. That this won't be happening. And by that I mean this is going to come out either way. It's going to come out. And it has nothing to do with anything that they've done to me personally. Any parent out there will totally get it, that, you know, you can do whatever you want to me, and that is just fluff. Like, you start hurting kids, and it, you know, you are going to meet a part of me that you really don't want to meet. So, I'm not actually sure if I mentioned Catherine, my neighbour, and I really did like her. She had a lot of animals. She's an animal lover, and yeah, really not sure what happened there, but she had to move out. And that's where this Pete came towards her. He called himself Pete, which obviously isn't his name. And yeah, I had this piece of shit in my home for dinner once, which I still, you know, feel sick about. I don't actually know what happened to her animals. There's some things I just can't say that I heard that are too disgusting and like far too traumatizing for people to hear. But yeah, he popped up again later after Catherine was ushered off with her car packed up and she was crying out the front, and he said, such and such wants to see you, you're not going anywhere, like, you go straight up there. So the house was sold, and yeah, the people in there were doing some dark stuff, and I think that's where it came in. So I heard right before the corner house, the man that was living there moved out. Somebody arrived at his door, and he's let them in. And yeah, I am a bit of a psychic spy. I don't know if I pointed that out, but this is what my gifts are for. So he's walked in, and I've heard him telling this guy, the exact words were, these guys aren't taking the cameras out. They have families to feed. So I believe that's the cameras in my house, that they were selling footage of me and my son, whether it's on the dark web or have to be. And I also heard his daughter right before they left as well, crying. And she said, all because they want this bitch's house. Dad has to move out. So, I mean, I was aware, like, that I was on camera. Well, when I say aware, assume, alright? You kind of assume, yeah, you're really not in the right kind of headspace. I didn't get direct confirmation of that. Let's put it that way. Until, obviously, that happened. When I heard the neighbour discussing it. So, I went out once with my cousin, who's always been like super supportive. basically had this like boom moment, you know, when you're sort of in activation mode and just all this stuff's coming out of you and it's like, whoa, you know. Insightful, you know, knowledge. So we're having this awesome chat and then we go in and I hear a man speak to her and say, I'm just looking for the exact words. You're doing the right thing, setting this girl up. Everybody needs to hear this, but no one's going to listen to her. I don't know in what universe that nobody would listen to the person who's actually telling their own story and let somebody else tell it. Especially when it's this severe. And I can't think of a worse injustice, you know, to people who have already gone through this kind of thing. I also heard him say, we're going to tell everybody it's coming from the conscious field. So somebody's writing a book or somebody is using all of my insights, you know, that I'm coming up with, which is anyone who's gone through an activation, kind of like leveled up, knows that it doesn't stop. Like every day you're just like booming and things come out of you that are just mind-blowing. So it goes to the point where it was even hard to keep track and write down everything. And then they're kind of like waiting in the wings, like I can hear them. Oh, she's not going to write that, or she's not going to post that. You can take that one. Or, you know, just wait and see if she writes this down, this kind of thing. And there was also the moment where Nigel, who came into my life, just turns around and says, oh, you're going to write a book, and I'm going to be a big movie star. Like, I mean, this guy was always spouting the most ridiculous, weird-ass shit that I didn't even know what to make of. But all that information that I've catalogued now makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Like, now these pieces fit. He wasn't even talking to me. He was communicating with someone else, like, all along. Every time I rang my son when he was at his father's, in the later years, I was there for 7 years. So initially, things were pretty quiet. I met Catherine, obviously. There was one night where there were two males that had come into the property, and yeah, I could hear them, you know, around the windows. I could hear them talking as well, so advancing on me kind of thing. I've kind of grabbed a knife or whatever I had and turned off the lights again. They're messing with me really bad with this one. I can hardly even speak, so I'm just going to move on. Before that, it's like going to be a mess, but it's going to be what it is because I'm losing energy. Just before that, I'm sitting out the back, and that's when I hear like footsteps near my gate, heavy footsteps. Of course, my neighbour Catherine pulls up at her house, and she must have spotted whoever it was, because I hear her say, "Oh, what's going on?" And somebody muffled something, and then she says, "Oh, do you want me to go like and come back?" And he says, "No, that's okay, go inside." I don't think she would have addressed somebody in that way unless they were official, if you know what I mean. So I've gone inside, and that's when, yeah, I turned out the lights. They were around looking through my back window and stuff like that. I didn't see them, but I knew they were there. I shut the blind, and I was actually that fearful at the time, not now, that I shot out. I just packed a bag really quick, shot out the house like greased lightning. I don't even know how quick I jumped from the door to the car door, got in and took off. And yeah, went and stayed with Jet and his father just for the night. So I also had some weird conversations with my cousin as well, where she mentioned things that she wouldn't normally mention. And I could hear things going on in the background that I didn't like at all. There was another instance at school pickup where I've seen her and said hello and everything, and they've walked off to the car. And her daughter says, aren't you going to tell Auntie Lammy what she's done for us? And my cousin says, no, Sarah said not yet. So, yeah, I mean, these people are remote killing me right now. They are actually killing me. My son is no longer in my home with his mother. So, if anyone's sitting back saying that they're helping here, that is absolute fucking rubbish. There was a night where I'm sitting out the front. Two people jumped Catherine's fence. I didn't see them. I heard them from the other side, from the back. And they've walked up to the fence, like where I was sitting, hiding. There's lattice work and stuff like that. It's easy to hide behind there. A male and a female. And he says to her, you know, you fuck with this girl's kid. Like, proud, sort of, in a proud sort of way. And then says something like, give me a kiss. Like, this is the sick, like, I can't even believe I'm fucking have to sit here and say this shit, honestly. I really can't. Like, people bringing this to my table, you have no idea. This is as feral as it gets. I'm telling you right now. It really is. You know? I've raised my son the right way. To be, you know, that's how I was raising him. To be fierce but kind and gentle. To stand up for people. To stand up for others. To be honest. Be loyal. Be honourable. These people are actual trash. Like, literal trash. It's hard not to get worked up. It really is. Especially when, you know, there's all of this that's happened, right? And on top of that, there's all this feral scum that is just thrown at me. You know what I mean? And surrounding me and focused on me and attached to me that you just can't break free of. There was another night where across at the car park, quite often people would park there and watch my house and all that kind of stuff. So there's a car parked over there. Early hours in the morning, it's quiet. And what sounded like Nigel with a female, and kind of sounded like he was shooting a video because of the way he was saying, "Oh, I'll stop there and edit that out," or something to that effect. That's how I knew. And he's saying to her, he's questioning her for the video. So, how do you know this girl again? Was it when you were massaging? And she says, "Oh, I've never done massage. I met this girl once when," and he cuts her off and says, "Oh, no, don't say that, and we'll edit that out." So this yeah, this must be one of the people fucking involved in this as well. And like I said previously, I also heard him pulled over by the police with a female in his car. And, yeah, that happened a lot in the area. They'd pull people over for a little chat, do you know what I mean? So you're driving by, you just see someone pulled over. And that wasn't going on. Like, these were meetings, do you know what I mean? Every time I spoke to my son at his dad's, which was every night, I always wanted to say goodnight. So every night, call my son, just say goodnight, and I would hear people in the background talking shit. And for a long time, I thought this must be some sort of a crossed line, because, you know, I would question. I'd say, are you okay? Is there nobody in the house? And even when we're in private with him, I'd say, oh, you'd tell Mum if something, you know, was happening, or if there was anyone in the house, or, you know, just try and covertly find out what was going on. You know, I'd say things, oh, has Dad got a girlfriend yet? Or just trying to get information. Because, yeah, it's also a distinct possibility that they were on the other end of my phone. One particular call, I hear right at the end when I'm saying goodnight to my son and ready to hang up, feral as female screeches out at, you know, over the phone, you're fucked. And I know exactly who that is. It's the streetwalker that was with Paul back at Para Hills, the one that called the hit out on me, and that has been orchestrating this, and possibly her father is the one driving this and is involved in this pedo ring. She actually had kids too, because she came to my son's 4th birthday party. That's the one instance that I ever met her. Total pig, and should not be mothering children at all. I don't know if she has children, and from what I'm hearing now, she's had a ton of plastic surgery and doesn't even look like herself. So I don't know what's going on there. Quite often, cars would sit out the front of my house, whether it was to intimidate me. I do think they were trying to get a rise out of me, get me aggressive, that kind of thing. So, yeah, quite often that happened. But there was one instance, and you kind of know when things are specific, you know, something you need to remember. So there was a black hatchback out the front with a girl. Still, this is someone that possibly could be this Sarah character that I'm hearing about. And yeah, I'm not sure if I've mentioned that one, but I went out and sort of said, you know, what are you doing at the front of my house, as I normally did. I've had enough of this. You know, I had seriously had enough of this. And, yeah. She puts on some fake tears and says she's arguing with her boyfriend, so I was like, okay, and I just turn around and walk back to the house. And then I hear a male say to her, are you really going to do this? And she says, I just wanted to see what an ugly mutt she was first. So that obviously, you know, raises suspicion. Okay. I'm just going to have to clear my throat again. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's the second, like the actual second I start talking about specific people, this is what I'm wondering about. Why are they protecting these people? That's what I want to know. Why and who is protecting these people? And specifically these girls. Like, what is the agenda there? Because over here we've got all this horrible, heinous stuff that we've already been through, right? This is the stuff that people know happens. And then there's something weird going on, and I really want to know why they're being protected and what's going on here. And who's telling my story? Our story. You know, I really want to know who's allowed that to happen and who has allowed them to target me at such a severe level in order for them to do that. So before I left the house as well, in the two-story house, basically like a couple of days after they moved out, they had some people come through. I think it was 2 or 3 voices I heard. And it sounded like someone was doing a fake psychic reading or something, and they were videoing it, and she's talking about all this stuff, you know, that's possibly happened, and it didn't sound correct to me at all. It sounded like complete bullshit from what I had, you know, the information I have. So this whole charade is just insane, like. And then I hear two males out the back talking to one another, and he's saying, is this going to work? Like, whispering. And the other one replies, it will, because the kid's lying. So, which kid? I don't know. I think it was these same people that I heard in the property before that, before they moved out. And the young female in the house was asking him, are you still going to back Sarah? And he replies, sorry, I'm just trying to find it. He replies, we will if she's kept her nose clean. And she obviously replies, yes, she has. And immediately I knew that was bullshit as well. Like, this person's lying. Energy was like off to his A, lying. There was another instance at the same house where similar situation. I don't know what was going on. They had a pool house out the back, and just sick stuff that I used to hear going on in there. I mean, this girl's a prostitute, so you can imagine. But not just that. A psychopath, sociopath. One night I hear the neighbours arcing up at this girl in the two-story house, and at least I think that was the only girl, younger girl living in the neighbourhood. And this guy was pretty annoyed, and I hear him shout out. I mean, I was inside the house when this happened. I hear him shout out, "Oh, for Paul's head, you silly little bitch." So they were annoyed about something that was going down, and obviously it was to protect him